Hey, welcome back to our third video. Today we're just going to be walking around Red Square, showing off some of the famous sites and just talking about some of my experiences in Russia. It's even more ridiculous, but we take it down. Turn me down, So we thought the weather was nice today, and we thought we would just kind of walk around the Red Square and basically just talk about Russia and life in Russia, and just tell you some of our thoughts. So one of the things Katia just asked me about, actually, was, about how did I feel when I was
people
speaking?
looking at you. Yes, because obviously now in Russia there's just a few English people left, or basically just any foreigners, and when they hear like native English, so they kind of give him a look, and I just was wondering, how does he feel?
So obviously this has kind of always happened to a lesser degree, but in the last couple of years, as you can imagine, now it's not. I'm more worried about maybe having some kind of negative consequences to it. Not that anything negative has actually ever happened to me here. No one's been, racist or attacked me because of my nationality or me speaking English. From my experience in Moscow. But it is definitely something that I think about a little bit more now that I never used to think about. So what we wanted to talk about, really, or what I wanted to talk about, was about schools and the education system, my experience of the education system here in Russia. So, I am a teacher here. I teach between the ages of about 11 to 16.
Oh, sorry, good look.
Yeah. And primarily, actually, that was the age of students that I worked with back in the UK, back in England. Now here I'm teaching English as a second language, and I've also worked in France. I've also worked in Poland and in Hungary, and also actually in Ukraine near Kiev. So I've taught in a few countries. And although I have taught like kindergarten level in the UK and here, and also older students up to 18, it's really that like a 11 to 15 age group, which I would say is my most common.
Okay.
Right. So first of all, first difference, the grade system. Now, can you explain the grade system?
Yes, our grade system is basically we have 5 marks. It starts from 1 till 5, but actually real marks is only from 2 to 5, and even people don't really get 2 that often.
Yeah.
So basically what you get is just 3 marks, 3, 4 and 5. And
Right, so
yeah.
Really. So it's meant to be 1 to 5, but realistically it's 2 to 5, and actually it's 3 to 5, right? Because a 2 is like if you haven't completed it or you didn't do it, and they get an opportunity for the most part to redo their work if they get below a 3 or.
Yeah, even if you get a 3 sometimes for some kind of test, you always have a chance to redo it. So you're never really worried that you will, that's your mark, that's your final mark.
To be honest.
Even now, I heard, so we have our final test, YEGA. It's the end of the 11th grade.
Well, a bit like A level in the UK.
Yeah, and now what they did that you can redo your test.
Really?
So you have
even for their big end of.
Even you can choose one and you can redo it officially. So which is good, but also, in real life you'll never have a chance to redo something. But maybe, it's good because maybe you was worried, or you was feeling bad. And
not really. kind of any real excuse there. So basically, what it boils down to is that you're either finishing with a 4, which is a B, or a 5, which is an A, and that's really it. Okay?
No, you can get 3. You can.
Okay.
If you're really bad.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Now I teach in a private school here, quite a small Russian private school with quite a big emphasis on English. I do have friends that work in bigger international full English schools, and I also have some other friends and my brother who also work in smaller schools. Now my school is actually in Russian apart from the English lessons. There is a big emphasis on English. There are a lot of people that speak English, and all my students are near native level or a high level, so you can engage with them in kind of in everything in English. But fundamentally, it's still a Russian school, so I get to see kind of the whole Russian side of things, which is a bit different to my my friends that teach in an international school. Now, first of all, the first thing that I also want to point out is that Russian holidays are the longest in the world. And I tell the students, yes, you have 3 months off. They finish in June. No, finish in May.
At the end of May.
Exactly, the last day of May. So the last day of May, and they start the first day of September. They get 3 months off every year consistently, right? And also, I believe all private and state schools, they all start on the same day, yes?
Yes.
This is the first, right? Everyone in the country starts on the 1st of September, right? Now, even in England, we had pretty long holidays, but they were about 6 weeks, right?
When is that?
Maybe 8 weeks, but even that, I used to remember thinking was insanely long. In Russia, they get 3 months off. Now, as a teacher, I also get 3 months off, so I need to find something to do. Yep.
But what about holidays during the year?
I would say that actually
How many days do you have?
Almost the same. You get a similar amount off for Christmas, similar amount off for Easter. In fact, maybe you get more holidays in Russia. Because,
I guess
right,
maybe, yeah.
Not before, this is also something really bizarre about the Russian system. Before their 3 months holiday, at the start of May, they have like a 10-day holiday, right?
Yeah.
So
No, it's not 10 days. So we have 1st of the May. It's a day of what do we call it?
Victory Day?
No, it's not
Easter.
Victory Day. It's then of hard work.
Just work day.
Yeah, just kind of hard working day, and it's a really big holiday day. It came from Soviet Union. We still celebrate it. And also on the 9th of May we have Victory Day. So between those 2 days, usually sometimes we have like plus 2-3 days of holidays. And I mean, what you do, you just get the whole week off.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a large holiday. It's like having half term 3 weeks before you finish. For your 3 month holiday. It's quite bizarre. I'm not really sure why it still exists. It's like they try and tell me sometimes there are 4 terms, but 1 term is 3 weeks before the end of the year, so it doesn't really exist, right? So realistically, in Russia, it's thought of more as 3 quarters, as opposed to 3 thirds. But you do also call it quarters, right?
Yeah, quarters.
So you do have 4 quarters. You have like 4 terms.
Yeah, we have 4 terms, but no, we have 4 quarters.
Yeah.
But usually that's for middle school.
Yeah, right, which is where I teach.
Yes, but if you are at the elementary, high school, yes.
Yeah.
So in some schools they do like 2 terms, so you don't have this like mini holidays.
Right. Okay.
So they don't break it into 4 quarters, so it's just 2 terms. But that's it for high school, and it's only if you go like to very good school.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe,
So I went to that school.
okay, so can you tell me and tell us a little bit about the different types of schools there are? Private, private schools,
Okay,
government schools.
so first of all you have private schools. It's where Alec was. Is your school private?
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's kind of half private, but still follows all the national schools rules, if I'm not mistaken. And also we have
The
just normal.
curriculum.
Yeah. Also, we have just normal state schools, which some of them could be really good, some of them not really. And also, basically, we have very like top schools. They're all state, but we call it lyceum, lycée.
Yeah. So
It's-
how would I imagine these are very much like English grammar schools?
It's
okay?
where you study like physics, maths,
Yeah.
IT stuff. So when you're very like technical person, you're going to lyceum.
Okay. Yeah. Because wait, we're going to move on to subjects in a second. Just tell me. So
So lyceum and also gymnasia.
gymnasium. So, and
Gymnasiums.
what is the difference then between a lycée, a gymnasium, and a normal state school? Like, can anyone go? Do they cost any?
No. I mean, some schools might cost something, but it's still state school. But you they tell you that you have to pay like 40,000 rubles, which is 400 pounds per year,
Yeah.
just to make some donation. Let's call it donation to support school, but still state. Or I mean, obviously to get there, you need to pass like very high level tests.
Oh yeah.
So you need to be very smart to go there.
Okay. And the other one, gymnasium. What's that
I
exactly?
mean, it's kind of the same as lyceum, but it's just more like social sciences.
Okay.
Yes.
Almost like it sounds like they're grammar schools, but grammar schools focusing on different areas. So tell me, your main exams that you take when you're 17, 18. What subjects do you have to do? What do you study and how many exams do you take?
So you have to take 2 exams. You have to do it, but also you can choose the rest of them. You
Right.
can choose 1, you can choose 2 or 3. It's up to you.
Well, I'm confused. All right, so you choose which 2 do you have to choose?
Any.
No, but okay. But,
No. It's you have to pass Russian language and math.
Okay, so
So
maths.
you don't have an option. You have to do it.
Okay, so those are compulsory. So you've got maths
Yes.
you have to do, and Russian language, which you definitely have to do, right?
Yes. And
Next.
then you have options. So you can
Right.
choose the rest of the test.
But how many options do you have to choose? Or what's the
Doesn't
minimum or
matter.
maximum?
Well, a minimum, I mean, 1. If you choose just 1, it's fine. So, I mean, you do it to go to university,
Yeah.
and every university sets its own rules. So, for example, if you want to study like physics, so you need to have in your test like Russian, profi, math. We have 2 types of math:
Yeah.
profi and just like beginner. Like
Oh, profi. This is what I describe as like higher level, top set.
yeah, profi,
right.
profi, or just normal. And obviously, if you're gonna go to university, you choose profi, and also you need to choose 1 of something, or 2 or 3, depends on.
But
What
were
university
your
you
groups
go?
at school called profi and like normal level?
No.
'Cause I was speaking
I don't
to-
know because I went to lyceum, so I mean we have to study math on very professional level. So we didn't really have option like to study math on simple level. So we kind of
Right.
all did profi.
Okay, so one thing that I have personally been pretty appalled by in the Russian system,
Yeah.
well, first of all, is sport. The sport here, I mean, look, I don't know how you feel when you watch American films and they have like basketball games with the whole town turning up, or you know, American football games where like it's a huge event and the athletes are huge and stacked, right? Even in England, right, we have to play, you know, in our private schools, we have to play sport like once a day, maybe like once every other day, and we compete. You know, we have amazing sports fields, amazing sports facilities, right? I haven't really seen or heard about that in any private schools here in Moscow, or even the top ones. You know, there's no.
No, maybe it's a really top 1 school in Moscow, Letova. I mean, it looks more like English private school. Maybe they do that, but in the other school, I mean, you don't do it because we have schools to get academic knowledges, and there are the things you can do outside school. So that's your parents' job to send you to do all these activities.
Yeah.
Not schools.
So, I mean, overall, I would say that one of the core differences I've noticed between working in a Russian private school and my friends that also work in Russian private schools compared to the British private school system is academia seems to be the sole focus here in Russia when it comes to school, right? You know, that I would say in Britain it was a more comprehensive, all-rounded education. Sports, drama, music, academia are all kind of integrated. And as well as, like, you know, little things, like having the idea of head boy, head girl, prefect, these kind of things from my experience and the people I've spoken to, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is out there, they're definitely not commonplace here in Russia,
yes.
right?
I mean, you still can be like head of your group, but I mean, not really.
I mean, even the idea of trying to explain what head boy and head girl mean.
What does it mean? I don't know.
So, right, well, somebody in the oldest year gets chosen to be like the leader, spokesperson, representative of the students in the school. But it's not based on academic performance, right?
But is it whole school?
Yeah, the whole school, right?
No, we don't have.
Right, it's like the person who at the end does all the speeches, who speaks to parents, who's meant to be like the exemplar of goodness and being a role model that all the students should look up to, right? And it's kind of like, and to a lesser extent, we also have people called prefects, which act as like a kind of deputy version of that. But because everything in Russian schools is just so purely academic focused, the idea of judging or picking a boy to be head boy because of his like his responsibility and his kind of leadership and social skills and all-round general ability is kind of a foreign concept here.
What I noticed in our school, so if you have the person in school, you can tell that he's like leader and he has all these skills to be a good leader. So for some reason Russian teachers don't really like those type of kids. You know what I mean? They usually like kids who are very like hardworking, like doing lots of homeworks, always answering and participating in lesson, but not those who are like very social.
Yeah, I mean, okay, social is not the right way. Obviously, like, you have to be an all-rounder, and I think that's what I'm trying to explain here, is you have to be able to, just to be academic and get the best grades, you're never going to be head boy, okay? You basically need to be a role model and perform in all the areas, okay? Anyway, so that was just our thoughts, rambling as we're walking through Red Square in this nice weather. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed our thoughts of life in Russia.